And then, no, it's Desmond Ridder fumbling again on the 1 yard line.
The last one, I saw them score the touchdown, went to my Nugget ice maker to refill my cup with ice, came back, and it was a turnover.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this is unbelievable.
All right, we're back. It's Nanodosing. We got Billy remote. We got Mad Dog McKenzie here. Big T next to me. Chaps in the what would that be? The 5th seat, 6th seat?
You can just give me the 10th.
You're okay. You're in the 10th seat.
Yeah.
Chaps is sitting in today too. And we did an interview that is going to come out on Thursday's show. But we're here for Nanodosing right now. We got a lot to get into. I don't know if you want to talk about your Saturday right now, Big T. If you want to hop into the Tennessee Minute, that was tough. I felt your pain. As somebody who bet on the University of Tennessee on Saturday, a disgusting second half.
I would, if I wasn't a Tennessee fan and I bet on Tennessee and they didn't cover that game, that would be like an all-time, I'd never bet on that team again.
It was bad. I was going through hell. Poor Donnie and poor Titus, because they came over to watch some of the games, and instead of being social, I was just sitting on the couch watching Tennessee get their teeth kicked in and watching Iowa, Minnesota, because I bet the over on Iowa, Minnesota, which was 30 and a half points.
The historic under, and you didn't bet the under?
It was so
Why did you bet the under?
I wanted to challenge myself.
It's the lowest in college football history. You have to bet the under.
I wanted to challenge myself on that. I wanted to single-handedly will that over to happen. And
didn't even get close.
It didn't really get close. Although if that punt return,
it would have been 29.
Then we would have had to have Minnesota drive the length of the field.
Well, so it was 12-10, right?
It was 12-10, yeah.
So that did you bet at 30 and a half?
Yeah.
So because Iowa would have gone for 2 to go up 6, so they could have gotten to 30.
Yeah, and then
but then you still would have been short
unless Minnesota had taken down the field, scored a touchdown.
Right.
I need a lot of stuff to happen. It was a stupid idea. It was a terrible idea. Yeah, Billy?
Parlaying the Penn State Ohio State under with this under was the best parlay ever of the day. That was my one parlay that hit this weekend.
Yeah, that was such a boring game, the Ohio State Penn State game.
Not if you had the under.
Yeah, but it's still boring to watch. You just feel kind of smart while you're watching it. Like rooting for punts in the game when you have the under is kind of cool, I guess. But that was a dumb bet, hand up. But I digress. University of Tennessee, big time choke job in the second half. Everything looked like it was going Tennessee's way.
I knew the second, so we score first drive, go up 7-0 on maybe the best throw of Joe Milton's career. It was awesome. Then they get a 3-and-out, go down, get first and goal, and end up kicking a field goal. And I was mad about that, but I was like, okay, if you told us we'd be up 10-0 in Tuscaloosa, you take that 11 times out of 10. Then they get a strip sack fumble in the red zone on the next drive. And I'm like, okay, now you have to go score a touchdown. Another field goal.
Mm-hmm.
The second field goal, I knew we were in trouble.
Yeah.
And then I was resigned to the loss. So then it was 13-0. Bama scored, made it 13-7. They were going in to score again in the second quarter, and I was like, well, whatever. Once they take the lead, it's over. And then we got a pick in the end zone, and we went down and scored to go up 27.5. And that's when I was like, oh, fuck, we're actually going to win. But then I had another moment when they showed Heupel going into halftime. It said he was 22-0 at UT when leading at the half.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, we're so screwed now. And then Bama scored in 2 plays to open the half. The first play, they had 5 men in the backfield. The second play, Tyler Barron was in a chokehold. And then after that, it wasn't even the same team.
It was ugly.
I don't know how they went from playing so well to so poorly, but yeah, it sucked.
Heupel had some all-time sideline reactions, too, when he gets fired up. His chin start bouncing around a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a fat day for him. He goes back and forth. He can look like the fattest dude you've ever seen, and then usually in the offseason, it's every offseason, like he's lost like 25, 30 pounds. And then season starts, you're at the office till 10.
Mm-hmm.
I bet he's back on Diet Coke.
Comes back.
Sodium rich.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That pass to Squirrel White was incredible, though.
Oh, it was amazing.
Squirrel White, my second favorite name in college football this year.
What's first, Rowdy Beers?
Oh, I forgot about Rowdy Beers and Rocky Beers.
Yeah.
Captain Booty. General Booty.
General Booty. I would say my favorite name in college football is Mobility.
Yeah.
He's on
Is it North Texas?
Yeah, University of North Texas.
Yeah.
Mobility, great name.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was sorry to see that, Big T. I
It
really
sucked.
was.
That was that's up there as an all-timer for me for sure. Wasn't like, South Carolina last year, obviously much more on the line than this. But like if they'd won that game, like if you can beat Bama on the road, you should beat Missouri and Kentucky, and then you go into Georgia with one loss.
Mm-hmm.
But everything's still, we're a solid but flawed football team.
Yeah. I'd say you're solid. You're probably going to finish the year somewhere in the like 14 to 18 neighborhood. Is that fair?
Oh, I mean, sign me up for that. That means you probably don't lose more than 3 games.
Yeah.
9-3 would be a solid season going into Nico time.
Nico time, baby.
It's always been about 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Always been 2024.
Have you seen highlights of Nico yet?
Oh, I've seen highlights of Nico for the last 2 years.
Yeah. Is he real? Is he legit?
I mean, I wish we would, have blown some teams out like we did last year so he could get some game reps and we could see him. But I mean, yeah, he's legit.
Okay.
He's going to be a beast.
And then
He does a lot of TikTok dances though.
Oh,
Nico?
Yeah. Have you seen his TikTok?
I haven't seen him on TikTok.
Big T, you got to get
A
cracking
lot
on
of
that.
dances. He sat. I just remember, like when I was looking at his page, he sat his last year at high school, right?
No, I don't believe that's accurate.
Are you talking about the same
I do-
Nico?
Yeah, the quarterback with the
He's
ponytail.
he's made one TikTok and it was in December of 2021.
Then it was on his Instagram. There's some, yeah. This is the guy.
He's doing TikTok
Yeah, he
dances on
sat.
Instagram?
Yeah, he does them on Instagram, and he sat his last year of high school because I remember he was doing dances on the sideline of his high school team playing because he didn't want to get injured, I guess, before going to Tennessee.
No, I believe he transferred and thought he was going to be eligible or something, and then they ruled him ineligible or something. He
Anyway,
didn't,
that's a
like,
long time to
shut it
not play
down.
full contact football.
So you think he's going to suck, Billy?
No, I'm just raising some concern.
I'm seeing 2 major red flags from you. 1, he hasn't played football in a long time. 2, he does TikTok dances not on TikTok.
But look, he may be staying loose by doing the dances.
Would you rather have your quarterback be a TikTok influencer or an Instagram influencer?
Oh, TikTok, without a question.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. Now, for our
Oh, I
generation,
think
I would say
Instagram.
Instagram. I think TikTok for the youngers.
I think
Instagram's more solid.
yeah.
That's
Instagram, you know that
that's old school.
Instagram, he's on there because he's trying to get those hearts from the honeys. On TikTok, that's some Mickey Mouse Disney shit.
Yeah, TikTok's a wild place. I did nothing but fat shows for a while.
Yeah,
That was fun.
That's true.
Also, Billy, I'm on his Instagram. I don't see a single dance, anything like that.
It might have been his Instagram stories. I just remember seeing him on the sideline dancing and be like, why isn't he playing in his high school senior year and he's on the sideline? He's doing all the dances. But speaking of TikTok, Chap, something I've been seeing recently, and I think you're more of an expert than any of us. What is going on in Camp Lejeune with all these murders and people confessing to murders and then burying the bodies on the base? I mean, what is going on there?
Well, I think a lot is a little bit of a stretch, but that case that you're talking about in general, that was one of the wildest TikToks I've ever seen. The dude just came out of nowhere and essentially confessed to a murder and being an accomplice to murder, which was nuts. But if you really want to see where all of the crazy stuff is happening, there's 2 bases. One, Fort Hood, they are an abomination, and they have been for a while. And 2, Bragg. A lot of the special forces soldiers have had nothing but free time, and it's turned into they had to do like emergency mass formations to see who was popping on coke because a lot of the guys were selling meth and coke while being like active Green Berets. Crazy.
Holy shit.
That's wild shit.
Yeah, like the SEALs also had like a fake bar in Beirut where a MARSOC guy who's Marine Special Operations Command, a Ranger and a Navy SEAL killed another SEAL. And then the Staff Sergeant Marine in MARSOC, he essentially rolled on everybody. But that happened a couple years ago too. There's been some major murders that has happened.
I think I've combined a bunch of stories, and it's not just Camp Lejeune, but I just saw that guy. Is that scope of crime on military bases like common, or is it just more the national spotlight because of social media?
Yeah, it's definitely a national spotlight. And if you look at the entire numbers of the military, because it's still an active part of the population, right? Like there's still people.
Right.
So you have 3.5 or roughly around there military members. You're definitely going to have some murderers in that group of any 3.5 million group of people. There's going to be some folks that are killing some other folks.
That's true. And some people doing some drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some
I want to hear more
selling of some
about.
drugs.
Especially when you have that same population that's about 75% male
Yeah. All like the age 20 to 40.
that are all like usually like rowdy dudes that aren't
Yeah.
afraid of conflict, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, like to party. Are there a lot of what would you estimate the breakdown would be of like rowdy party dudes in those branches of the military, as opposed to, I feel like there would also be a lot of big god guys.
Yeah, because there's such a heavy influence on the South and red areas in the military. I would say that there's a lot of god guys, but party dudes, I mean, damn near everybody, I would say, like
Yeah.
pretty close to it.
Even the god dudes.
I was a god dude. Look how I ended up. Like, I mean, that should be a pretty good indication. But you're not going to find like a Marine barracks on a Friday night where you have more than like 10% that haven't had anything to drink.
Yeah. It's like a breakdown
Whoa.
of college football coaches. You're
Yeah.
either a big god guy or just a party dude.
Yeah.
Just to give some context on the video that Chaps and I are talking about, there's just this video of this guy who's kind of drunk, who's just admitting to a girl he's sitting on the couch with, who's filming him, about how him and some of his Marine buddies were at a bar off base, and two of his guys he was DDing for ended up beating up a biker behind the bar and killing him, and how he helped drive the dead body back onto base and hit it 20 feet into the forest after trying to dump it in like a river, but they almost got caught. So it was one of the craziest. Like this guy basically gave up him and all his friends trying to get laid, and the girl he was talking to filmed it.
Yeah, because that's what works to get some ladies is confessing to a murder.
Mm-hmm.
You'll love this.
Right.
Yeah. What else we want to get into from the weekend?
I was going to say, you were talking about coaches that are god guys. You see what Dabo said the other day?
Oh yeah, Dabo had a great quote.
People were trying to like cancel him for that.
I think it's just like when Dabo says something ridiculous, you just want to punk him.
Listen, nobody loves to hate on Dabo more than me, but that was like, I don't want to say it was funny, but it wasn't. That's not an egregious thing to say.
What do you say? Like, yeah, we have a team psychologist.
Someone asked, you guys are going through a rough. They're what, 4-3,
Mhm.
like going through a rough patch. Like, do you guys use any sports psychologists or something like that? I said, yeah, we have one. He's probably on suicide watch right now.
Right.
And people were trying to like make that into some huge thing. Like, I thought it was, again, not funny, but
That's just locker room
That's
talk.
fucked up.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's just simple locker room talk.
Yeah, people just they'll take any excuse to pile on
I think
Dabo.
he was saying he's got a lot of guys going into his office now. He's very busy.
Big
Yeah.
T, can you imagine Dabo as a youth pastor? He might be the best youth pastor of all time.
I mean, the best in that he would be the worst.
Right. But
Like
that
he-
makes him the best.
You know,
You might, I mean, all the parents sending their kids off, I trust my kids with Dabo at the water park. You know?
really?
Yeah, like Big Lagoon. He's going to have everybody wrapped up. We're all going to have sandwiches. There's going to be Gatorade. We're going to stay hydrated.
Yeah, but he is like the fakest dude to ever exist.
I mean,
I think
Also-
I think you would have fun, or you would be safe. Your kids would be safe with Dabo at the water park,
Yes.
yeah.
but they might not.
you know, they'd be wearing their seatbelts.
So, yeah, they probably wouldn't have a great time.
Hmm.
It'd just be like, this was kind of the most boring water park day possible.
Ideal.
Yeah.
He's had a rough go of it recently. Also, I'm a firm believer that God does not care about the results of football games, but ever since Dabo said he created his program in God's name, image, and likeness, I believe they're 4-4.
That's tough. That's a tough
Which,
look for
if
God.
you're gonna say that, you need to be winning.
Yeah, God needs.
Well, he's testing their faith.
Hmm.
That's in his.
Because I
name,
think he
image,
said that
likeness.
before the bowl game last year against UT.
yeah.
They got killed in that, and then they're 4-3 this season, unranked.
Yeah, it is a test. This
If
is
the
all a
faith
test.
of the size of a mustard seed can move a mountain, then our offensive line can move North Carolina's defensive line.
Don't give.
just gotta have
he'll
faith.
say that.
Yes.
I know.
I mean, he said far worse. Yeah, he's something.
God's name, image, and like. Yeah, if I'm God, I'm like, please, I disavow. Like, you're making me look bad.
For anyone that hasn't seen that clip, it's an all-timer. They ask him about NIL. He goes, well, our program is actually built on NIL. And he gives a little smirk like he knows what he's about to say.
and then the sunglasses drop down. It's like,
Yeah,
nailed it.
It's one of the most cringe clips of all time.
If I was God, I would say like probably Michigan football this year is built in my image.
How's that?
Just run you over,
Mhm.
omnipresent.
They're cheating.
Yeah, omnipresent, spying on
Okay,
everything.
I
You
see- I
can
see where
see
you were
everything.
going,
Yeah.
Like the Elf on the Shelf type football
Mhm.
program.
Sure.
Yeah, just
Mhm.
big dudes running you over up front.
I don't know that anybody in college football this year can say that everybody kind of sucks.
Georgia's they're not killing everybody.
No, I mean,
Georgia's got some flaws.
I mean, Michigan probably is the best team, but like they could get beat.
James Madison.
JMU does look like a solid football team. I did have the over in JMU Marshall the other night. That should have been an indicator that it was going to be a bad weekend.
Yeah.
I had over 48.5, and it was 3-2 in the third quarter.
Yeah, that was a tough one, but our defense is awesome. JMU's
good football
defense is incredible. I've reached the point where now I want to see odds makers send me hypothetical lines. Like what do you think the spread would be on a neutral field if it was JMU against like a middle of the road Big Ten team? Let's say Maryland. JMU versus Maryland.
Maryland would be a touchdown favorite.
You think so?
over JMU?
You think 7 points?
Yeah.
Well, JMU was favored against UVA. We beat UVA.
The worst team in the Power Five.
UVA just beat who?
Yes.
UNC.
They beat North Carolina.
So that
on the
win
road.
looks a lot more impressive for us right now.
Sure. That's the one FBS team they've beaten.
We went in. Listen, you don't just march into Charlottesville and think that you're going to do all sorts of crazy stuff. Okay, that's a tough place to go.
Right. A lot of firepower there.
A lot of firepower there, but I don't think it'd be a touchdown against Maryland on a neutral field. I think it'd be closer than that.
No, I think that's what the spread would be. I don't know if it ends up that
Right.
way.
I would take
But I think
JMU.
that's the line. 7.
They were like a point or two favorite over Virginia.
Yeah, I think a point, maybe point and a half.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the worst team in the country, in
Mhm.
the Power Five at least. So
Maybe.
then you take a team a bowl eligible team, and they'd be like a touchdown underdog.
Yeah.
I did some scouting of Badgent's team.
Oh, Shepherd.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Like going through some of his stats there and looking up highlights. There's like nobody. My high school had more people attend than this school. Like there's legit folks just having like a drink sitting on a hill, like behind the game, and people were just hanging out.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Shepherd University is a very, very interesting place. I had friends that went to school there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's close to Northern Virginia, and I think 3 friends went to West Virginia. They either failed out or dropped out, and then they went to Shepherd for like 2 semesters, and then they just said, "Fuck it, I'm done with college." I said on part of my take, it's a halfway home between West Virginia University and the real world. So you just kind of show up there for a little bit. I would imagine that 90% of the professors at Shepherd smoke cigarettes.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like one of those places, but like a community college kind of.
He played football on Sunday in front of 25 times more people than went to his university.
That's crazy.
There was only 3,100 students enrolled there.
That's crazy. Yeah, but-
D2 football is really goddamn weird because D3 football probably gets more attention than D2 football. And the weird part about that is that D2 has scholarships, which allows like they have like half as many scholarships as D1, but their whole, leagues and stuff gets way less funding from the universities, attention on the national scale. Like the D3 playoff gets way more coverage than any sort of D2 stuff. So it's like, it's weird because it's better football technically, but it doesn't get as much. Like you're either going amongst the recruiting circuit, you're either going D1 or D3. There's no one really considers D2 on that scale. So like to see him come out of a D2 school, like I think there's might be more D3 players in the NFL than D2 players.
He's the only one.
Is he?
In the entire
Yeah.
NFL, he's the only D2
Yeah.
player.
So I feel like
There's like 5 D3 players.
Yeah.
I feel like D3 you've got some powerhouses in D3, right? Like some schools that are
Mount
perennial.
Union?
Mount Union, yeah. You've got some really
Is
good
that
schools.
Wisconsin Whitewater?
I think so, yeah. That's where, what's his name? Was
Yeah.
that, who coached there?
Meneers.
Yes.
Quinn Meneers.
Yeah.
Well, no, they had the is that Kansas State's coach who went from Wisconsin Whitewater to North Dakota State to Kansas State?
Let's
Am I right in that? Chris Kleiman?
That might be who I'm thinking of, actually.
I think
Yeah,
that's
Chris
right.
Kleiman. Yeah. He coached at North Dakota State from 2014 to 2018. And
But before that,
No.
wasn't he at...
he was at Northern Iowa for a long time.
Okay, then who's the Wisconsin Whitewater guy?
Wisconsin Whitewater head coach.
Because their coach went somewhere Division I.
Let's see. Fact check.
Oh my. Oh wait, this doesn't count. Some guys did some time in D3 schools.
Oh,
but then
Leipold.
went-
Lance
technically,
Leipold.
Lance
in
Tyree
Leipold,
Kansas.
still
yep.
played D3.
Yeah, so it was cool to see Badgett, though. He looked pretty good.
Yeah, he did. I thought people talking about his arm, like, yeah, he maybe not throw the Hail Mary, but he did plenty of like hash mark to the sidelines, like opposite hash mark to the sideline throws that were 10, 15 yards out.
Yeah, the offense looked like it had a little rhythm going to it.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun to see.
Did you see his father?
Yeah, his dad's a beast. Billy, give me your take
His-
on his dad.
Well, you can see where he gets his arm talent from because his father was I think, world champion arm wrestler.
37 time.
Left and right-handed.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, and what's
Yeah.
insane is that he isn't one of those guys with the freak arms. You know what I'm talking about? Like the guys with the one arm that's like got gigantism
Mm-hmm.
to like get into lower weight classes.
Yeah, I've
Like
seen,
it's good to see like a normal looking arm wrestler.
Yeah, and he owns a arm wrestling themed bar in West Virginia, which is pretty crazy.
man,
That's awesome.
that's a great bar.
It is a great bar. I think it's in Charlestown, West Virginia, home of the racing.
What do you
No
think-
fist fights in that bar.
Oh, Billy, that's where you got it. That's where you beat up Jose Canseco. Was in Charlestown, West Virginia.
Oh shit! Why didn't I go there after? Maybe I did. I don't remember.
Those patrons must be wild as hell.
Oh, so wild.
The regulars at an arm wrestling bar.
So wild.
It's like a pool bar. Like you go to get some reps in.
You definitely show up and get your ass kicked your first time there.
Oh yeah.
They jump you in.
Who's the new guy?
Yeah. It
A
seems
lot.
like an
I
80s
wonder
movie.
what they definitely have a protocol for snapped. What's that bone called that all the arm wrestlers break?
the
The radial or
The
Ona?
radial. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
definitely a ton of snapped radials.
yeah. There's apparently a science to arm wrestling, where it's all
Yeah.
about because I heard his dad describing the technique, and there's a fulcrum that you have
Yeah.
to hit,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's the pressure point. And if you get higher on the fulcrum, then you can dominate, even if you're not quite as strong as the person.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, he's just like a technique god at it. And his dad was also a world champion arm wrestler, or at least national.
His
champion.
grandfather?
Yeah,
Wow.
comes from a long line of arm wrestlers.
Here's a little arm wrestling tip that I learned from a guy. If you flex your opposite lat while arm wrestling, you'll get extra leverage because then you not only are using your arm, but then you're engaging your core. So like if you have the hand under the bar and then you're going over, you get like real leverage from your whole body if you flex you like if you're right-handed, your left lat. But
You had me sold on flex your core.
Mhm.
If you flex your core, you can almost accomplish anything.
Activate your glutes.
Mhm.
That's
yeah,
the key.
activate your glutes while arm wrestling when
Mhm.
you're sitting down.
You guys ever leg wrestle?
Oh yeah,
That's the
Indian leg,
best.
yeah,
that is fun.
That's way better than arm wrestling, I think.
way safer.
Yeah.
Dude, arm wrestling gets dangerous.
True.
Like, have you guys ever been there when a guy snaps his arm?
I have
Mm-mm.
not. No, have you?
Yeah,
You've seen it?
my cousin snapped his arm when he was 12.
Get the oh, never mind.
Yeah, I didn't snap it.
That must be the worst injury ever to have. Like as a 12-year-old, you're going around, and you go to school, you're like, yeah, I got my ass kicked in arm wrestling.
Mhm.
Everybody just knows that you're weak.
But
Drink
it
milk,
was your
dude.
whole arm up to your shoulder was in the cast.
Yeah, that's tough.
So he was walking around. Yeah. So very scary injury, and don't like to arm wrestle because it's scary.
Be safe out there. What else happened this weekend we want to get into? Billy?
I'm officially the most vaxxed person on this podcast.
Oh, congrats.
Damn.
Do you want to read? Let me read. So this is a little sneak peek onto some stuff coming out soon. But I got 5 shots today.
All right. We
I
got
got
Billy Kelsey.
typhoid.
Mm-hmm.
I got typhoid. I got polio.
Mm-hmm.
I got
Weren't you supposed to already?
Oh, I
have
got
one?
tetanus.
Yeah,
And
I
I got
think you
my
were-
first rabies shot.
So wait, Billy, you just got polio? Don't you have to get polio
No,
when you're a kid?
I got a booster. I got all those. These are all like if you're going to at-risk areas.
Yeah.
But I got my first rabies shot, and rabies shots are fucking expensive. I'll tell you that.
Billy essentially got
rabies-
like a Long Island iced tea of vaccines.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I did.
You got a rabies
I was
floater?
like concerned. Yeah, I was concerned that I was going to be like too tired for this podcast because they were like, "Yeah, you might get messed up by it."
Your
But
arm
I'm
is going to
feeling
be
okay. Sore
fucked.
arms.
Well, you picked a bad
my
time to
arm's
get them.
already
The
fucked. Look at-
vaccine industry's booming. I'm sure the prices have been
Boom.
inflated.
True. Supply and demand, baby.
Yeah. So I got 3 here, if you could see. I got 2 there.
Yeah,
So
you're,
yeah,
you're
I
gonna
have to
feel
get
like
my second rabies.
Don't be a coward and go get the smallpox. That's the worst.
what happens
that-
with that? Is that the one that
Yeah.
like eats
You
eats
get-
you away a little bit?
Yeah, you can get, what is those called? The bumped up scars, keloids?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
get, Kate has a keloid from hers.
That's a crazy one. Is smallpox still a thing?
Wait, did you have to get that
Yeah.
in for the military?
You have to get it prior to deployment.
Shit, I thought. Fuck.
Do you have to get a ton of vaccines before you deploy?
Yeah, deployment, but I had to get the most before I went to Japan. There's a ton of inoculations that you have to do before you go to Japan.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Just because they require it, or
Yeah, they
there's
require it.
risk of
Yeah.
exposure?
Like things that have been big there
Oh.
before, like I think it was yellow fever that was huge.
Also got yellow fever.
Yeah. Oh, did you? The whole kit and caboodle?
So,
Yeah.
So smallpox has been
That one hurt.
eradicated. Is that true?
Yeah, but they were worried about it being used as a chemical weapon.
Ah,
What?
Yeah.
that'd be fucked up.
Yeah.
Because it exists in like labs, right?
It's definitely a chemical weapon. Yeah, we
Yeah.
got rid of our supply supposedly, but yeah, it's definitely
we
like
probably kept a couple just
yeah,
for
just
a rainy day.
yeah, you don't get them all. We hoard some stuff.
I got yellow fever.
Yeah.
Just to show you guys.
Yeah, it was a lot. I think it was like 11, something like that you had to get.
That's so many.
Jeez.
Yeah, Billy, you're gonna feel like you got a sick pump. Your arms are just gonna be sore. On
Dude.
I went to the gym on Friday and I did like back and arms for the first time in a while, and then I
Nice.
I ended up going out on Friday night and had a couple drinks here or there, and then Saturday morning I woke up and I was pretty hungover, but I also was like super sore, so I actually felt like I had the flu. Like my body had like the cramps and the aches, and the symptoms were indistinguishable from being sick with the flu. Do not recommend
Yeah.
being hungover with a sore back. It's terrible.
No, but what you shouldn't do is drink after doing legs,
Go on.
because you wake up the next day and you can't walk.
Oh, so you
Because
have to be lazy.
Your muscles, yeah, your muscles get all the tearing, but they get none of the recoup because alcohol does its thing. So you're just walking around with torn up legs.
So you're
It's brutal. It's just like you described, but imagine like you had to walk on it.
yeah, but also it would be a great excuse to just lay down all day.
True.
Sometimes you can't afford that.
Yeah, sometimes you got to get out there and get after it.
You got to grind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also had a pretty interesting Saturday night. I haven't told this story yet, but might as well share it here. Donnie, myself, and Mark Titus, we had a standing date that we were going to go on, and we planned this like 2 weeks ago. And then Saturday morning, I was sitting on my couch watching college football and scrolling Twitter, and I see a tweet from Joey Harrington saying, "Hey, if anybody's in Chicago, can you give me a recommendation on where to go out for dinner tonight, preferably delivery?" And so, just not thinking anything of it, I replied to him, and I was like, "Hey, yeah, me, Donnie, and Titus are going out for dinner tonight. You want to join up?" I've never met Joey Harrington before. We had him on Part of My Take, but it was on Zoom. So it was he seems like a nice guy. So I was like, "Yeah, let's invite Joey out." Joey was recovering from like a massive knee surgery, and he was recovering downtown in a hotel that was like conjoined with a hospital. It actually seems like a pretty good deal where you get the surgery done and then you recover in a sweet hotel room,
yeah,
like
that's
a really
way
nice
better,
place. And so he's like, yeah, I haven't been out of my hotel in like 4 days. So I'm looking to get out there. And so me, Titus, and Donnie ended up going out to dinner with Joey. And we had a great time. Joey's a very nice guy. I feel bad, though, because I found out later when I went home, I went back onto his Twitter profile, and it was his birthday. And he didn't say anything about it. So we had birthday
How sad
dinner.
is that? You're at the hospital hotel and asking Twitter for recommendations?
I know. And his family is like across the country in Oregon. And so he's here in Chicago, a strange city, by himself. That's probably why he wanted to like go out, stretch his legs a little bit, get out of the room. And it was his birthday. And we didn't even wish him a happy birthday.
You guys should have taken him to Howl at the Moon.
We should have, we should have done like the full Chicago experience.
So he could give you a little rendition of Piano Man.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah. He's
Like
really good.
He is. I think he was like a music major at Oregon, something like that.
Yeah, he's a jazz pianist.
Yeah.
He's like very talented. And so, yeah, I feel bad, Joey. So happy belated birthday to Joey Harrington. It was funny. We were talking at dinner, and Titus just started telling him about how Titus actually grew up an Oregon Ducks fan because he was playing NCAA football like 2002.
Uh-huh.
And he didn't have a team that he rooted for. And so I guess he was an Indiana football fan, but that wasn't really much of a team to root for back then. So he just fell in love and became a Joey Harrington and Oregon Duck fan, like a massive Ducks fan. And then Donnie had to come over and apologize to him because Donnie competed against a Chinese football team called the Ducks. So Donnie has a lot of tweets and Instagram posts out there just being like, fuck the Ducks. And so Donnie had to explain to him like, hey, I don't hate you. I think it's like the Shanghai Ducks or something like that.
I thought he didn't like Achilles Smith. I thought that was Donnie's deal.
Probably not.
A huge anti-Achilles Smith guy.
He probably hates him. But yeah, Joey was a fun hang on Saturday night. Probably the most random hangout that I've ever had in my life.
That is pretty random.
It's
I didn't expect that.
Yeah, but super cool guy. So
Tim Couch would have made sense, but Joey Harrington, that's wild.
Happy birthday, Joey. I'm sorry that we missed it. My bad. What else do we want to get into?
I have some more questions for Chaps.
Okay.
Fire away.
Chaps, we got U.S. naval ships in the Mediterranean, and now we got China going over. Is there some showdown that's about to occur, or is everyone just like surveying the situation?
I would say I don't want to say it's a good thing, but everybody in the region knows that the dads are there now, like essentially. Like you got big presence from both of them. It's really hard to tell like what our position is going to be and how it's going to go out. It's one of the first conflicts, I think, since I've been doing ZBT that I legitimately have no idea how it's going to end up. It could easily be a large-scale war, or it could be a 45-day thing, and then there's a ceasefire. I just don't think anybody knows in that part of the world what's going to happen.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I feel like we would kick China's ass.
I think we would too. Well, it's like how Russia was. Like Russia was always thought to be the number 2 power in the world simply because they have like 7,600 nuclear warheads or something like that. But there's been so much analysts across the board have said that it's their nuclear weapons are number 2 compared to ours. But the military standards and what they can actually accomplish was so much lower. Like they have very elite battalions at the top. But then once you get down to that, after those like 2 or 3 battalions, they're essentially conscripts that have no idea what they're doing. It's just a bunch of numbers.
And there's a bunch of like maintenance that goes in behind the scenes that you have to, like, I remember when Russia invaded Ukraine, like the vehicles that they had, you had to rotate their tires like twice a year, and none of that shit had been done. So all the tires were wearing out quick.
It's simple logistics.
Yeah.
The reason why we do so well is logistics, more so than anything else. We always have the capability to fire more rounds because of our logistics are just that much better than everybody else.
We always play road games too.
Yeah.
We're used to playing on the road.
Yeah.
A lot of countries, they'll have a home field advantage. Like that's what Ukraine's doing right now.
Yeah.
Russia's fought a lot of wars in Eastern Europe, Western USSR, Russia. They're familiar with that part of the world. China's fought a lot of wars on its home territory too. Like we can travel. Our military travels.
And Russia lost multiples of what we lost in Iraq and Afghanistan within the first 2 weeks.
Did they really?
Like over the course of the 20-year war. Like, yeah, they lost multiples more than we did.
We also have way more carriers than China, aircraft carriers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, China caught its own submarine in its own submarine net. You hear about that?
What are the
No,
odds?
it wasn't. I don't think it was China that got caught. I think it was the Philippines that caught in China's, which they found that China's net went into international waters, and so that's why that one was a big deal.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure that's the way that went down.
If you just catch somebody's submarine in a giant net in the middle of the ocean, is that
Finders keepers.
finders keepers? That's
Yeah,
yours, right?
Yeah, that's yours.
Like the ocean belongs to everybody.
I will say, Billy, if you've ever thought about going into the military, I think one of the most fun jobs ever opened up where you're a drone hunter. So all these different countries are starting to use it now. You're seeing it in the Middle East. You're seeing it in Ukraine and with Russia. They're using essentially drones that you buy on Amazon for $150 that can collect things. And then they'll take that and take a mortar round, or they'll take a grenade and drop it precise. Like they could see on camera 4K active, and they're so silent that they can go over and just drop it. And now, as a reaction from that, we are training to take these down. You saw it on a aircraft carrier, or not an aircraft, a destroyer or something like that this week. They took down 25 in Syria, or just outside of Syria.
So they can target the drones. They can pick them up on radar and track them. Well, next is stealth drones.
Yeah, stealth drones. And I think that eventually we'll have... So have you ever heard of a chameleon system that we had in Iraq and Afghanistan?
No.
It was when they were going... It was a really heavy time for either regular phone, like cordless phone transmission to blow up IEDs, or cell phone blow up of IEDs. It was remotely done. So in order for us to be able to go through different areas and not have to worry about those remote controlled IEDs, we had a device that went, it looked kind of like a Rolo, you know, It looked like a Rolo that they would stick on top of the Humvee or whatever the lead vehicle, Bradley, and it would put out this system that blocked all transmissions within a certain distance. I think it was 50 meters or something like that. So no cell phone signals, no Wi-Fi, no Bluetooth, no nothing can come in through that area. What I imagine that it will do is have like a technology type of Iron Dome, where if you control that space, you can put out something that will get rid of those signals where you're not going to be able to.
Like disable guidance on missiles and things like
But
that.
then that's an advantage for us, because you're not going to have smaller groups like Hamas that have that ability right away.
Yeah. I've always laughed at the idea just of combat aircraft in general, because we invented fighter jets, and their jobs are to shoot down other fighter jets that people invented to shoot down other fighter jets.
Right.
It's like a problem, like a theater of war that we just came up with out of nowhere. Like, why don't we go fight up there?
Yeah, like artillery was designed originally to take out tanks.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like duck penises.
Exactly.
It's just an arms race.
Well, not originally. Artillery's been around longer, but that's what we used them for.
Go on with duck penises.
Well, you know how ducks have like very complex penises, right?
Corkscrew, right?
Yeah. So there's just like been
Shout
an
out pigs too.
evolutionary race between duck vaginas and duck penises.
Who's winning right now?
Well, I think it depends on, honestly, if ducks are being born, the men are probably winning.
I got penises -3, but I'm gonna take vaginas in the second half.
Yeah.
I feel like vaginas are about to have a comeback here.
Oh, big time.
Yeah. Ducks are fucked up animals.
Are they?
Have you ever seen ducks have sex?
Tread lightly. Yeah.
I don't think it's...
Have you?
Yeah. We had a bunch of
Fuck the ducks.
We had a bunch of ducks on my college campus. They are aggressive. Like it is not consensual. They will chase female ducks down, jump on them. Female duck will be like running away for her life. You'll get like two male ducks competing with each other and also against the female. It's wild stuff. Like ducks are very problematic animals.
Very much like pimps and hoes, because the male mallard will be all green and decked out and have a fancy kind of coat.
Yeah.
And then you have the ladies that are out there and just they're brown and tan.
Yeah, he's just doing his little walk.
Yeah, he's strutting.
Very, very problematic. So I'd like to disavow the sex lives of ducks.
How do you feel about bonobos?
They fuck.
Oh,
They fuck.
They get after it.
dude,
Mm-hmm.
bonobos are lit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
They don't care what hole it is.
Mm-hmm. And gibbons have the
Bonobos-
loudest orgasm of anybody in the animal kingdom.
I did not know that.
There's a theory
that true?
bonobos.
I would imagine so.
What about Riley Reid?
Yeah, because the gibbon.
Okay, I'm gonna search gibbon orgasm.
Oh no, howler monkeys. Check out howler monkeys.
Yeah,
They
howler
probably-
monkey too. Gibbons have the same kind of. They're in the same family.
I think a howler is a gibbon,
Could
but
be.
not all gibbons are howlers.
Wow.
All right, I found a bunch of videos that are not related to this, so I'm not going to click on any of these. All right, before we head out today, Big T, what are you teed off about?
I mentioned to you earlier. I don't know if we can discuss it on the show. I think we're forbidden. The New York Times had to apologize for reporting something at the word of an organization that is
Hamas.
Yes.
Their apology was like, "We're sorry, we're so trusting that we took Hamas's word for it."
Yeah, and that's real news.
Yeah, it's a pretty big fuck up by the New York Times to be like
The first, I'm sure.
Well, Hamas promised us that it wasn't their rocket, and then there was so much disinformation on Twitter when that happened. There was like videos coming out where people would be like, "No, this is clearly like a JDAM or what was JDAM, joint something munition. I forget what it stands for, but they were saying it was a bomb. It was like a MK82, MK84." And they were saying, look, you can hear the sound. The sound can only be made by JDAM. So there's a ton of misinformation. It's always good to just wait. Just wait.
They promised to vet more next time, so
Okay.
that's good.
This is the exact reason why ZBT is not doing any live reporting on this, because you're going to be wrong. Like, I saw people that I respect in like the forensic field talking about that, and they were like, this is what it would look like, the crater would look like. And I saw it, I was like, it looks small. Like, the crater size was not what you expect from like a 500-pound bomb. Like, that's a big crater. But I don't think that's not, it's so far outside of my expertise and what I feel comfortable talking with. I'm staying the hell away from that.
Yeah, and there are people that don't even have any military experience that are weighing in on things like this.
And people that were junior like me, I was pretty junior guy in the military. Like, you just don't know. Like, cross theater, multiple groups, Hezbollah and Hamas, and dealing with that and what's going on. Is Israel is a sovereign state, and some people don't want it to be a sovereign state and just be a religion. Like, there's so many different things that you could really fuck up. So I'm avoiding talking about
That's
it
smart.
for the most part.
I would like to say that I'm in favor of peace.
Yeah.
Peace in the Middle East.
I'll tell you what I'm
going
really
to go out
teed
on a
off
limb
about.
here and say that.
And we can
Are you going
leave-
to say thank you for my
You're-
bravery?
You're incredibly brave.
Yeah, thank you.
We can leave that in or cut it. This is what I'm actually teed off about. This Desmond Ridder fucker.
Uh-huh.
I can't do it anymore.
You guys won?
Do you see this guy?
Yeah.
They have like the best defense I've ever seen the Falcons have. Like, they're legitimately really good. And then this guy just comes in and every time they get close to the goal line, he just gives the other team the ball.
2 fumbles on the 1 yard line.
3 in the red zone.
3 in the red zone. We were saying that
A week after 3 picks.
It must have been, if you're a Falcons fan that was watching that on Red Zone and you were just like going to Red Zone for the live look-ins,
And we must be up 31-6.
and you think to yourself every time they cut to you, okay, we're about to score a touchdown here. We're on the 1 yard line. Sweet. Probably going to be Bijan Robinson. And then no, it's Desmond Ridder fumbling again on the 1 yard line.
The last one, I saw them score the touchdown, went to my Nugget ice maker to refill my cup with ice, came back, and it was a turnover.
Mhm.
And I was like, this is unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, you won though.
They did win.
You won. So
They'd
Ridder,
be 6-1 with a league average quarterback. Give me Tyson Bagent. Give me that guy.
yeah, or Heineke.
Yeah, you already got him.
Is it Heineke time? What's going on with Bijan? Did he have diarrhea?
They said he had a migraine.
Oh, that's right.
And
yeah.
that he was available, but they didn't want to push it.
Yeah, at least Kyle Pitts caught a couple passes.
Yeah,
That was cool.
he's been doing well.
But yeah, if you had an average quarterback or even just a quarterback that didn't turn the ball over all the time.
Just be mid. We need mid, and we can't get that.
Yeah, I think you're still going to make the playoffs, though.
I hope.
I
This
think you're the
this
best
week
team in that division.
is Ridder against Tannehill, which is going to be horrifying to watch.
Yeah.
Would you take Zach Wilson on your team, Big T?
Absolutely not.
He said mid.
Not
Billy.
over.
I said average.
Okay. All right.
I need
Mac Jones.
Yes.
Oh, you think Mac Jones is
That's-
average?
He's better than Desmond Ridder.
That's a huge compliment to Mac Jones.
Yeah.
That's the nicest thing anybody said about Mac
He's
Jones.
better than
in,
this
in
guy.
Months. That's a close one because Ridder moves the ball.
I mean, look at what he's got.
Yeah.
Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, and Cordero Patterson, and Drake London and Kyle Pitts move the ball.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's along
Mac Jones
for the
can
ride.
gritty.
I just want.
Terribly.
I want to see a full dose of Bijan Robinson for a game.
Yeah.
I want to see like
Let him
25
play
35
quarterback.
carries.
Yeah, just like give me a Bijan game. Just turn him loose.
A 2018 Derrick Henry game.
Yeah. Or was it like 2007 Larry Johnson?
Yeah.
Where how many carries did he have?
Like 400 something.
400 carries that year. Yeah, I think that was Herm Edwards that was just like, fuck it. I'm just going to give him the ball.
It's not my legs and back, whatever.
Larry's doing well these days.
Yeah, he is.
We should get him
Just
on-
keeping it normal.
We should get him on Macrodosing.
That's probably the result of 400 carries.
Probably, yes. All right, well, that's a good teed off, Big T. I support your frustration with Desmond Ridder. It must be tough as a Falcons
Like
fan.
they should be good.
Yeah, you've been through a lot.
To combat some misinformation, I just want to make a correction.
Okay.
Howler monkeys and gibbons are not that closely related.
Damn.
Gibbons are an old world monkey,
Mm-hmm.
whereas howler monkeys are a new world monkey. Howler monkeys are from South America. Gibbons are throughout Asia. And I just wanted to make that correction because we don't want a lot of people going out there thinking howler monkeys and gibbons are, like kissing cousins.
Gibbons are non-brachiating and howlers are brachiating, right?
Yes. And gibbons don't really have tails and they walk on 2 feet a lot.
All right, thank you, Billy. Thanks for clearing that up.
Both are very noisy during coitus.
Real quick, I'm going to go through the Falcons' remaining schedule. So right now, Big T, your beloved Falcons have 1, 2, 3 wins. Is that 4 wins? Oh yeah, that's right. You beat the Panthers week 1.
Mm-hmm.
So you have 4 wins. You're going to lose to the Titans.
Disagree.
You're going to beat the Vikings. So that's 5 wins. You're going to beat the Cardinals, 6 wins. Beat the Saints, 7 wins. You're going to beat the Jets. That's 8 wins. You're going to beat the Bucks again, 9 wins.
Are these all consecutive or
Yeah.
are you skipping?
Yeah,
So we're going
beat
on
the
a
Falcons,
nice streak.
10 wins.
Beat the Falcons?
Yeah, you're going to end up with 11 wins.
That was my preseason. I said they should have 10 or 11.
Yeah, your schedule is nice. Your schedule looks pretty good right now.
But you're forgetting, they're going to be up 14 in one of these games and Ritter's going to throw 2 picks back to back.
That might be the Jets.
Where's that game?
That's going to be at MetLife.
Mm.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one.
Okay.
But yeah, congrats on 11 wins
Maybe.
in
We'll see.
playoffs. Maybe even get a bye. All right, well, that does it for Nanodosing. We'll see you guys on Thursday, and we're going to be doing interrogations. History of interrogations. We have a special guest coming on Thursday's show, the Lie Guy. The Lie Guy is joining us, and he's going to tell us about lying, interrogation techniques, and all sorts of stuff. So we will see you guys then. Love you guys.